I'm Hannah, and this is Fitness from Afar. Today's workout is progression 1 in our 8-week progression to get you fit for the ski or snowboard season. It's a strength and power workout. Today I'm going to be demonstrating and we're going to be doing all of these fundamental movements that translate to on-snow performance, but we're going to do the simple version. I have no weights today, just body weight to get the movements down, and then I will make them harder for you throughout the next 8 weeks by increasing the challenge of the movement, making it a little harder to balance, making a deeper range of motion, by increasing the reps, so the amount of time you're doing an exercise, all of a sudden you're going to feel more burn in your legs, and also by increasing the resistance. So we will be using weights eventually. Today is just body weight. It shouldn't feel like the hardest workout you've ever done, otherwise you have your work seriously cut out for you in the next 8 weeks. It should feel like, okay, I need to put in some more work, but I handled that well, and now I'm ready to move on, and then next week, I'll send you a new video. So all you need for today's workout is something you can step onto. A chair, a bench, a piece of outdoor furniture, a little step stool, anything that you can step up onto comfortably. Let's start moving. Let's do this. Get ready to feel good about yourself, and then we're gonna work, push through, and improve each of the next 8 weeks. We're gonna march in place. Let's go. So the impact won't be super high today. We're just gonna do a little bit of jumping around for some of the power moves, but I expect you to join the live classes and do your own cardiorespiratory work outside while the weather's still good. You can bike, you can hike, you can jog, or you can use your Peloton, you can use a spin bike, an elliptical. All those workouts will serve you well to build your base for this functional work that we're doing here. Thanks for joining. These medals hanging on the wall are for skiing, so hopefully that gives you some trust in what I'm telling you to do to get you in shape for the season. Keep going, pulling those toes up. Keep marching. I like to keep it, I can see my screen stay in frame. 10 more seconds. Keep going. Last 2. 1, and take it to a butt kick. I use my hands, squeeze my butt, push my hips forward, feel a stretch to the front of my thigh. Have water nearby, I'll give you little breaks to grab that. And I don't have a license to play music. I don't want YouTube to pull it down, so crank your favorite playlist. And let's get this feel-good workout done. Keep going. Feel like a nice stretch, but a little bit of energy happening too, getting the blood flowing through the body. And we're gonna squat. Now we're getting to ski training. Sit back and stand. With your arms, sending your arms out front gives you some counter, and you can go a little deeper in that squat. Back flat, and your toes pushing out to align with your pinky toes. Yes, it's okay if they go a little bit forward in front of your toes. Think about when you're in your ski boots, you're driving your shins into the fronts of your boots. So that's okay. But I care more here about the knees not falling in. We want strong hips and glutes. We'll work on those today to help prevent knee injuries. 10 more seconds. You may find that you're doing hundreds of squats per workout by week 8. Keep going. And rest for a moment. Reverse lunge. Take those arms up overhead. Feel a nice big stretch through the front of your hip. And step to stand. Drop the hands. Other foot goes back. The exact angle of your body will depend on what you're feeling, where you feel tight. Try to make this feel like it's loosening up and lengthening. I can feel it from my knee, through the front of my quad, up into my hip, and even into my abdomen, especially as I lift those arms up. Back and forth. Take your time on these. One more on each side. A good warm-up is important before a workout, but also before you get out on the slopes. You can use these same moves before you go skiing as your warm-up. Sumo squat, so the heels are underneath the hip bones, toes are turned out now, drop down. I'm gonna manually push my forearms into my thighs and twist, not letting the knees drop in as I do so, and stand. Squat, push out, twist. Big twist from your tailbone to the top of your head, stand. Keep going. The warm-up helps your joints prepare for movements that are coming. It also helps you mentally prepare for working hard. Last one. Stand up. Widen the feet. And we're gonna reach across, lateral lunge, come to the middle, reach across, keep going back and forth. So you're hinging at the hip here, pushing the butt back, keeping the back flat, and then reaching opposite hand to toe. You can widen that stance, depending on your flexibility. Still, when I bend the knee, keeping it right over my foot. Back and forth. One more toe touch on each side. Good. Chair pose squat, meaning you're going to take your arms up overhead as you squat back, pulse, and stand. We're going to generate a little heat in the legs. Sit back, pulse, and stand. That little pulse is as if you're in a low position when you're skiing, absorbing any sort of bump or vibration that comes your way. That's one of the harder things to train and get used to, is that feeling, that hold in your leg, the tension in your leg muscles that you feel the whole way down the ski slope so that they're burning at the bottom. We're going to try to mimic that in some of our exercises as we work through the 8 weeks so that you don't feel as bad when you sit down in that chairlift at the bottom of a run. No jello legs. 2 more. Last one. Planting one foot, lifting the opposite heel behind you into a single leg RDL, reaching for your ankle, and tap down. Continue. Do about 6 on one leg, and then switch. Or if you've already started alternating, continue on with that. That's fine. Think about keeping the hip of the extended leg pointing down instead of twisting open like that. Stay down here. Think of pushing the sole of your foot back, and that'll shift the weight into your standing leg heel. Feel that more in your hamstring. Learn how to keep your back flat and your core engaged. Switch to the other side. If the warm-up feels like a workout, not the end of the world. We'll just have to work harder to get ourselves into shape before the season happens. You're starting now. That's excellent. Last one. Awesome. We're going to be down on the ground for just a few exercises. Plank position. So like you're at the top of a push-up. Hold here for a moment. Give me a squeeze. Let's just hold this plank. Check your alignment. Hips lifted but not piked. Shoulder blades pulled together and belly button pulled up to the spine. Hold. We will be building on our plank as well. Hold. I'm going to hold for just 5 more seconds. Who knows? You might be doing a 2-minute plank by the end of this. 3, 2, 1. Step left foot forward, the outside of the left hand. Think of dropping the hips but keeping the back of the back knee lifted up. Step back to a plank. Other foot forward. At your own pace, stepping back to a plank each time, and then stepping the foot as far forward as you can. Long line from your back heel to your top of your head. Last one. And then lower down onto your belly. Sometimes we work on our core. We forget that the back is part of the core. So we're going to hit those muscles down the back of the body. Reach your arms over your head. You're going to lift your thumbs up in a Y. So out at an angle from your shoulders. Lift, thumbs up, everybody, and lower down. I'm going to let you staying on the ground for this. Just squeezing from hips up my back. Lift and lower. Lift, thumbs up. You can even push back in the air. Y, lower down. So the Y is your arms making the Y with your body. Lower down. Controlled half Supermans. Lift and lower. 2 more. Lift and lower. Last one. Lift and lower. Just a couple exercises on the back, and then we're going to be using the bench. Lay down all the way down. Plant the soles of your feet, comfortable distance from your butt. Drive both feet evenly into the ground. Squeeze your butt cheeks to lift until there's a straight line from your knee to your shoulder. Not overdoing it and arching your back, but just looking for that straight line. Tap down and lift. With your arms off the ground, you have a little more core work. Just stabilize side to side. Check. Look down your body. Make sure your hip bones are level because you're lifting evenly on both sides. Squeeze. I told you about how hips and butt are really important, helping prevent knee injuries and helping you get more powerful side to side as you turn. Squeeze and lift lower down. Squeeze and lift. We'll even be making a glute bridge more complicated as the weeks progress. 2 more. Last one. And rest. Nothing fancy here. The base fundamental exercises that we can improve upon. Come to a tabletop position, the shins of the table, knees are right over your hips, and then pull the knees into your face. Feel how it rounds your lower back. And then push the soles of your feet away. Feel how it arches your lower back. Come to neutral with the knees right over the hips and try to get that flat back on the ground so no one could fit their hand underneath you. Okay, from here, tap a heel down and pull back up. Arms up in the air. A little more work. If the arms are down on the ground, they can help support you. So find the one that's challenging for you, but not too hard. We're just waking up that core. You can even touch your belly. Make sure it's not coning up and pushing to the ceiling. Keep it flat. Rock solid. Speaking of rocks, did a pre-workout before this, moving 6 truckloads worth of rocks to the dumpster. Ah, what a good workout. So get creative if you need to. Or just follow my workouts. 10 more seconds. Squeeze here. Keep it almost paralyzed. It's so quiet. Just the legs moving. Excellent. Legs are last exercise on the ground. Legs long and straight. Pull a knee. Actually, keep the leg straight. So lift the leg up to the sky and then draw a circle with that foot, one leg. Keep everything else on the ground. Again, wide arms. More stable. Arms up a little harder. Big circle. 2 more. And feel your hip maybe pop. Switch the direction of that circle. And then we're going to do the other leg. Big circle. 1 more. Plant that leg down. And draw a circle with your other leg. Big sweep. It matches the extended leg. Sweeps around. Come up. We'll try to work on our flexibility. Do some of the same stretches so you can hopefully notice a difference in 8 weeks that you could barely sit up in a seated position, and now you can do a forward fold. That's optimistic. Maybe you can sit 1 inch further into the stretch. Last circle. Did you switch directions? Great. Finish it out if you didn't. And then pull both knees into the chest and rock yourself up to seated. Stand up. Grab a sip of water. Great warm-up. The warm-up is not just to get hot. It is a purposeful part of the workout too. So if it was hard for you, that's okay. You're getting benefit from the workout. Okay, I'm using our bench now. Remember, today is progression 1 of 8. You're going to stand with your butt close to the chair or the bench, and you're going to use this to sit down, but not collapse. So just tapping your butt, sitting back, and tap back up. Hopefully you didn't choose something that's too low to the ground. Arms out front will help you. And if you keep your arms closer to your body, that's going to be a little bit harder. Since we're thinking about skiing, we might as well just think about that relaxed arm position, hands out front, eyes up, tap the butt, and come back up. So keep your legs working. They never release even at the bottom. You're just tapping and standing. Trust that it's there, but you can always move a little bit closer. Tap. Hinge at the hips first, so push back here. Don't push your butt back by arching, please. So instead it's a sit back with a flat back, tap, and stand. Hopefully you've just joined in. If you haven't, let's go now for 30 seconds. Everything we do today, for the most part, is going to be 30 seconds. So not too long, a good way to get acquainted with each exercise, and we're going to do everything twice. And then we will build over the weeks. Squatting, that butt tap, and stand. Last 10 seconds. With control, we will add weights to a move like this, but we're just making sure our form's good. Right now. Last one, and stand up. Incline plank, using the bench to make a plank a little bit easier. We're going to hold the plank position, so check that alignment just like we had when we were on the ground. And now lifting a knee, bring it to the elbow. Little pause, plant it back down. Switch the other side, plant it back down. Ready? We're going to go for 30 seconds. In 3, 2, 1. Big pull. Tap. Pull that belly button up to your spine. Keep the plank as the priority. If you need to just hang out in the plank position, fine. And get rid of the leg lift. I still wanted this to challenge even fit people, so there's little things that are harder, such as this, the lifting, you can always just hold the plank, okay? That's option 1. Keep going. 5 seconds. And rest. Using different muscle groups in each exercise so we don't have to take a long rest. We can move right into it. So come with your feet. I like to go pushing against the front of the bench. You can rest them on top, driving in. We're gonna lift, do that glute bridge like we did during the warm-up. We now have this elevated portion of it that's gonna make you feel it a little more in your hamstrings. In 5 seconds. If your chair is not stable, you can do this on the ground too. This makes it a little more challenging. 3, 2, 1. Squeeze, lift, hold. Lower down, tap, and lift back up. Tap, lift back up. Then we're going to repeat those 3 exercises. The sit downs, the incline plank, and this glute bridge. Drive those heels into the bench or chair. Feel symmetrical when you lift. 5 seconds. And rest. Little water break. Back to the top for the sit downs. Good job. We have 5 blocks of 3 exercises. We're on block 1, obviously. Going in 10 seconds. Sit downs. If your bench is too high and it's not challenging enough, step away from it and just try to go a little bit lower. You can visualize the tap. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Tap and stand. Tap and stand. Arms out front. Or a little harder, cross the chest. Keep that back flat. Don't relax in the sit down position. Just the tap. 10 seconds. Oh, you're going to feel so much better this winter. Rest. Hopefully. Maybe if I just tell you to feel better, you will. Okay. All depends on what you did to prepare last year. And if this is superior or not. Incline plank in 5 seconds. Either the hold or those spider steps where you're bringing your knee up to your elbow or armpit. 3, 2, 1. Big pull outside wide. Back to a plank. The knee moves a lot, but your back and that line stay. Working on your hip mobility at the same time. Ten seconds. Glute bridge coming up. Last one on each side. And rest. Glute bridge, down on the ground. Feet in front of the bench or heels on top. Chair, whatever you have. And again, if it's not stable, do this one on the ground. In 3, 2, 1. Not too wide with the feet. Basically just underneath your hips. If you ski on a mono ski, bring your feet together, touch them, and strengthen in that most realistic position. But doing things in just an athletic stance with good posture helps most sports, no matter what position you're in. That's why hip distance is often a common cue for starting an exercise. Keep going. 5 seconds. A little hold at the top. That extra squeeze. And rest. New exercises. Adding a little more of a power component here. Power is strength, but with a speed component, so a little more speed, oomph. Alternating step-ups. One foot's on top. I'm going to push through that foot more so than pushing off the foot that's behind. Push through the foot on top of the step and knee drive. Come back down, all the way back down. Other foot goes up, drive down. So you don't have to go all out, but I want a little power in the push, okay? Going in 5 seconds. My new camera, hopefully my head doesn't get completely cut off. Let's do this. Plant that foot. 2, 1, knee drive, back down. Other foot up, knee drive, back down. Use your arms to help you. Glance down, make sure you see the arch of your foot because your knee's staying out when you lower down especially. Just 10 seconds. So we'll do these just one leg at a time so you'll feel the real burn in one leg. But remember, we're just practicing today. Rest. Good job. Let's get the heart rate up. Awesome. Dips. Okay, your triceps are not the most important muscles for skiing, but we need to get our heart rates back down. And if we completely neglect the upper body, we become really imbalanced, and you want total body strength. Prevent upper body injuries, dislocations, etc. 2, 1, go. For today, my knees are bent, but I'm still keeping my body really close to the bench, lowering and lifting, lowering and lifting. If my legs are outstretched, go ahead and do that if you want. This will be harder, but maybe that's next week. We won't do dips every single week for 8 weeks. Probably can mix this up, upper body strength. Up and down. Just 5 more seconds. Last one. Rest. Bulgarian split squats. These are awesome for strengthening almost all the muscles in your legs. So the back foot's on the bench or step stool if you want something a little lower. And then see how my head to my ankle is a straight line? I'm going to try to keep that. I'm going to actually line up with my back knee as I drive that back knee forward and drop. Okay, that's not completely true. Just straight line through your body, from your head, pelvis, down to the ground, and you're going to lower straight down like that. Sorry, hopefully that makes sense. From your torso staying upright. Okay? 2, 1, let's go. Think of scissoring the hips, so pushing the back hip forward, because it tends to want to splay open like this. So push it forward, pull the front hip back. Use your arms, or have them just out front for a little bit of balance, which clearly I need today, or using them opposite arm forward, more like a running stride. 10 seconds. Nice and deep if you can. About a 3 count down. 1, 2, 3, up. 2, 2, 3, up. There's that, keeping the muscle under tension. Last one. Rest. Now in theory, you can just put your foot down, reach the other one back, but you gotta trust it. We're going in 10 seconds. So try not to, my analogy that didn't work very well was to prevent you from leaning too far forward. Try not to let the torso drop. 2, 1, go. Weight in the heel of the front foot. Nice and deep. I'm feeling a stretch through my back quad. You don't need much weight to make these feel challenging. Again, glance down. Can you see the arch of your foot? That's good, because that means your knee's out. But then don't stare down. Dynamic vision. Feel your glutes helping to stand up out of that. Last one, right here. Rest. And we repeat. Step ups. Alternating step ups with that knee drive. And it would be perfectly fine to do this workout again sometime in the first week to really master it. So you're helping yourself, adding a little step in the progression by just repeating the exact same exercises, because I will make it different every single week. We're going in 3 seconds, stepping up. 2, 1, begin with similar movements though. Alternating, yes, we're alternating. All the way back down, other foot up, drive. Not frantic, you can move powerfully, but keep everything stable, strong, and controlled. Last one on each side. Rest. Dips in 5 seconds. And then those Bulgarian split squats again. 2, 1, go. Lower down and up. Try to keep the elbows in line, not flying out like wings. So squeeze them in towards each other. Up and down with the torso. 10 seconds. Last one. Rest. Bulgarian split squats. I don't know, I'm feeling this for an easy workout. Still feel it. You still get benefits. Okay, back foot up. Improve your form from the last time. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Arms out front, or working in that natural opposite arm forward way. Vision up, shoulders back. Slow down, and then faster up. Or slow the whole way. 5 seconds. Last one. Switch. Other foot is elevated. Going in 5. Okay, 6 seconds. Breathe. Same quality on the second side. In 2, 1, go. Down and up. If you can do single leg exercises, it's going to make anytime you're on 2 feet feel really easy. And there's so much weight shifting in skiing that you're often, even though both feet might be on the ground, you'll have one leg much more loaded up than the other. 2 more seconds. So last one, and then rest it. Great. On to the next block. Lateral hops. See how this would apply to skiing. I think eventually we might be doing some box jumps. Right now we're just going to do this on the floor. You can make it as small as you want, or a little bit bigger, pulling the feet up. That's up to you. We're going for 30 seconds. You can even do half and half. But try to keep shoulders level, so you're not like going here. Keep shoulders stacked, upper body quiet, just like you're skiing, and the legs doing the movement. So whether it's tiny hops or a little bit bigger, up to you. We're going in 5. Arms out front, eyes up in 3, 2, 1. Hop, side to side. Explosive and speedy, but keep everything tight. You're halfway. You got this. Accelerate. 5 seconds. And rest. Okay, that was 30 seconds. Most runs are longer than 30 seconds. But you maybe aren't doing turns that tight. To bring the heart rate down, plank and core work is beneficial for everything. Helping you transfer force, prevent injury. So let's come to a push-up position. Rotate open, even the feet staggered or stacked. Come back through and open. If you want to add a push-up, you can every time you pass through. Otherwise, rotating side to side. Going in 3 seconds. 2, 1, go. So you pause here, side plank, come through, squeeze, reach that arm up. You can do these on the ground too. If you don't have a good grip on your step, your stool, your chair. Try to keep your shoulder kind of over your wrist. 5 seconds. These are good recovery. Last one. Good. This is the power block. That was your recovery. Squat jumps, but we're going to do it in a controlled manner, not just string them all together. Like that sit back, sit downs we did first. That tap your butt, and then pop. Reset, tap your butt, pop. Okay? 30 seconds of those at your own pace. Controlled, and then explosive. Reset and sit back down in 3, 2, 1. Tap your butt, pop, catch, tap. Weight through my heels as I sit back and tap, and then I push through the toes and try to clear my hips. 10 seconds left. Send your head to the ceiling. One more. rest. Okay, hopefully you're feeling legs working. That was it. We're doing that one more time. Lateral hops. In 15 seconds. We may, as I said, use a box for these. We may do them one-legged. I don't want to give all the fun away. Stay tuned. Keep doing the workouts. You can always lie and say you said you did them and just move on. But that's a good way to get hurt. That's why we're building into this. 3, 2, 1, hop. Somewhat of this is self-accountability. I'm here to help you, guide, hopefully encourage. But let's be honest, I don't care if you ski well this season. Come on, faster. Motivation comes from within. Come on, 3. Rest. That wasn't so bad. Side planks, those were just a little too easy for me. I'm gonna go to the ground for this time. So just do the same thing, side to side on the ground, in 3, 2, 1. It's the exact same thing. Let's take the incline out of it. Awesome, halfway. Lift that lower hip, so it's not close to the ground. Last one. And rest. Good job. Butt tap. Squat jumps. Going in 5 seconds. 2, 1, tap and pop. Tap. If you can hold here for a second or two, you can get that little burn in your legs. Hold, pop. Sit back, tap. Come on, big push. Not a lot of squat jumps, make them good. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds. Get one more. And then rest. We have a doggy visit. Doggy intermission. Hi guys. Hi. Guest appearance by Juniper. Okay, we're on to 2 final blocks. Yay. And this is the easy one. Lateral lunges. But today we're gonna alternate. Going side to side instead of just loading up one leg the whole time. So to look here, come back to stand, go the other way. Try to go low though. And that pushing off sideways, really good for those ski muscles. And it just turns side to side. We're going in 5 seconds. Make sure you have enough room. 2, 1, deep, push up, clean, to stand, to stand. Kind of get into a leg burnout here at the end. That's what you want. You want to be able to last. And after lunch, when your friends go in, because their legs are too tired, you'll be fine. Keep going, 5 seconds. Or on the powder day. 1 more. And then rest. 2 exercises on the bench. Single leg sit down. We're taking a stagger position. So the leg that you're not squatting on is just balancing on the ball of your foot. You're thinking exclusively about the other leg. Slow, controlled, tap. And then you can either stand up with both feet or do a single leg stand up. So the goal is all this leg working, you just barely having zero. You can even hold it up off the ground. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And you can be sure we will do it without the foot stagger, but that's that option. It's just a tiny bit of support, more for balance than any sort of weight load, or you hold it up. Still trying to keep the shoulders level. So sit downs, but now it's harder. Look at that, we're progressing even in the workout, not just having to wait a week. Halfway. Arms out front can be a little bit easier. Last one. Right into the other side. Go. That little Stagger support, all this leg, or hold it up. Forms a little dynamic, adjust as you need, just like on the ski slope. Last one. And rest. Good job. We are taking a seated position. And depending on what's behind you, you're going to sit here, drop a heel down, pull back up. This is all core, your hip flexors working. 3, 2, 1. Drop. If you need to hang on to the chair, fine. Otherwise, keep the arms up. Press your chest towards your knees. The leg's just a dead weight. There's no movement through the leg. You're pulling it back up with your core. Halfway. Five seconds. And rest. Awesome. Let's repeat. And then we're on to our final block. Going in 5 seconds, lateral lunges. To the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. 2, 1, go. You can pick up the pace a little bit. That's one way to make it more challenging without changing the exercise. You get more lunges in the same amount of time. Halfway. Hopefully by doing similar movements for each of the workouts throughout the 8 weeks, your form will get a lot better. If I bug you enough. Last one. Rest. Single leg sit downs. Going in 5 seconds. Told you the legs don't get a lot of rest in this one. 2, 1, tap down and stand. Don't take a full sit yet to a relaxed position. It's just a tap. You can visualize the weight you're going to be holding next week. So next week we'll actually still stay with probably no weights and increase the amount of time to get a little more endurance in those muscles. Then we'll add some weights. Don't worry, I've got a strategy. Switch, let's go, tap, and stand. I think so you don't have to. Just do. Last time of these single leg sit downs this week. Ten seconds. Five seconds. Last one. Rest. Shake out those legs. Single leg lowers coming up. Stay with me. We're almost done. Seated position. 3, 2, 1, drop. Try to get the rounding on your back. Arms forward. Can help a little bit. Tap and pull. You can do these on the ground too if your seat's uncomfortable. But letting it drop below the ground position makes it a little harder. Halfway. So the leg goes lower, in other words. And then you gotta pull it back up. Don't push off the toes. Just touch them and pull back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, the one part I didn't warn you for is that ideally you have some wall space because we're doing a wall sit. So if you need to quickly take your computer over to a different part of the house, go ahead and do that. Anywhere, you can even do it against like the side of the couch. We're doing a wall sit and a wall press, which will just be feet up against the wall. All right, for our wall sit, everything we're gonna do for 40 seconds, because 30 seconds seems just too easy. If you guys are doing this video, I bet you're already more fit than a lot of people pretending to prepare for ski season. So, 40-second wall sit, thighs parallel to the ground in 3, 2, 1, hold. You want those feet right underneath your knees, arms off of not resting on your legs, shoulder blades back into the wall, press the whole back into the wall. Arms can be out front or just resting but not not pressing into your thighs. And breathe. Try to push evenly through your toes and your heels. You're not all toes digging in. Breathe. You can like pinch yourself if you need a distraction because it's painful and it hurts. Don't give up. In fact, let's all sink 1 inch lower. Come on, guys. 15 seconds. We can do this. Flip your palms up, down, pull the elbows in. All that movement doesn't matter. I want everything else quiet for the last 5, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Hopefully those get easier. Maybe it's carrying those rocks that makes my legs feel bad. All right. In 15 seconds, we're holding a 40-second forearm plank. Boring. Hold. Squeeze. Nothing. You have to mentally decide you're sticking with it. There's no way to push through. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Like the warm-up, that nice line. Gaze neutral head. So you're just gazing down at your fingertips. Lift the hips. Press the whole forearm into the floor. Squeeze your butt. Lift the backs of your knees. 15 seconds down. We're going for 40. Shoulder blades together. Belly lifted. 10 more. No problem. 2, 1, rest. Okay, the wall presses. Combined, I put them right with the wall sits because you get that same burn in your legs. So hands planted, like you're in a hands and knees position, but the soles of your feet are against the wall. And there are the dogs. And then from here, you're gonna lift the hips like you're doing a down dog position. And then hover the knees, lift. Hover, lift. Up and down for 40 seconds. You're welcome. This is our finisher. We're only doing this set 1 time because we're powering through. Here we go. Going in 3, 2, 1, go. Hip lift, hover the knees. Don't let them touch. Lift, pressing the whole foot from the toes to the heel into the wall. Hopefully your shoes are clean. 15 seconds down. Awesome, you guys, 30. That means 10 left. Pump these out. Breathing. Last 2. And rest. Everyone's legs burn a little bit. Week 1, done. I'm excited to get in better ski shape with you guys too. That's why I do these. We're all going to enjoy the winter more. Breathe. Walk it out. Shake it out. We're going to stretch. Try to put some attention into these stretches, and you'll find, perhaps, if I give you enough time, that you'll actually get a little better at them, and you'll actually get more flexible. You're like, I'm not flexible. It's not something you're born with. You can become more flexible. Plant a foot on top of the bench. Take the back hip, push it forward towards the stool, this chair, the bench, and this knee wide to make room. Lift the arms up. Breathe. Sink a little lower. And I'm going to reset at least once. You can do it a couple times if you want, where you push through the front foot, kind of drop the arms, reset, and then maybe the next time as you exhale, drop forward, you go a little bit deeper in. One more time. Reset. We're going to do a couple stretches all with whatever legs on front, foot's on top, leave it there. Awesome. Now straighten that front leg. Heel stays on top. Hinge at the hip so that someone's pushing on your hip bones. Back flat, folding over that front leg. You can reach your arms towards your toe, towards the chair, or let them dangle. Think of pressing your chin, your chest towards your toes. And then you can round down by tucking your chin and letting your forehead fall towards your shin. Breathe. Let the arms fall if you haven't already, and they'll pull you a little bit deeper into the stretch. Maybe eventually you can bite your knee or rest your forehead on your shin. Come up, turn the back toes 90 degrees. And then we're side bend, creating a C curve. Feel stretch the whole outside of your body. Look up at that top hand. You can rest your elbow on your thigh. That's a little more support. Or let it dangle and it'll pull you deeper. Be careful, that can get really intense. Come up. We're going to do that one more time. Slide into it. Maybe a neck crack. Come up. And we're going to take last stretch on this leg. And we're going to repeat on the other side. Pigeon lunge. So the foot, again, if you have to do this on the ground because there's not enough room on your surface, that's fine. Otherwise, try to make my shin parallel to the edge of the bench. I'm going to drop my back knee down. Mine's not going to get all the way there. I'm a little too tight for that. I'm going to use my hand support and then drop into this stretch. Breathe. You can forward fold or stay up in a more proud position. Proud pigeon position. So now you have an idea of what the ski prep specific workouts are going to look like. We still have all those live classes. You're going to get your cardiovascular work, your power, your coordination, your stability, and full-on strength. But these exercises are very specific to, helpful for on-snow skiing. They're not specific to skiing. They also benefit you in other exercises, but they will be incredibly helpful. Rest, especially if you do them at least 8 times. Okay, other foot is on top. That knee goes wide. Find that correct distance to then drop forward, pushing the back hip towards the bench, arms up. One side might be tighter than the other. Likely you chose the less tight side first without even realizing it. Push through that sole of that foot, reset, and then lunge forward into it. Lift the arms. You can reset one more time. I'm going to hang out here for a second. Push through the front foot, straighten it, toes up, heels planted, and then hip hinge, chest and face towards your toes. Reach towards your toes or let the arms dangle. Let the head fall. You're going to look in the direction you're trying to stretch. Your head's heavy enough that it'll help you fall into that position. Maybe a reset, a little knee bend. Okay, I'm going to fold a little bit deeper. Exhale. And now I'm going to turn, my back's going to be towards you, but we're doing that side bending stretch. Turn the toes open 90. Rest your hand on your thigh or slide it down. Reach up, side bend, over. Maybe a reset. Up to you, or just stay in it. And finally, our pigeon lunge, shin parallel to the edge, dropping the back knee down and forward. If you have a low enough bench, you can, or you can force it, you can actually rest on the ground here in this position. That might be too intense. Find a place you can hold. If you're like grimacing, probably a little too much, back off. Work into it. We have 8 weeks to get flexible. 8 weeks of Thanksgiving, how did that happen? Take a little pressure off your hands, breathe into the stretch. Good job. And then release. Again, depending on the height, you could do this against a wall or a bench, but you're doing a Bulgarian split squat, but now we're gonna come all the way down. And it doesn't matter too much about the angle because you can push through your front foot to push back into the stretch, or you can walk the knee closer. We're trying to feel a stretch from the hip all the way down the front of the leg. Drive that back knee into the ground, squeeze your butt. Ooh, even that little action of just the squeeze, oh man, makes that stretch feel pretty intense right here. You just hang out. You can like watch a movie in this position. You can lift up an arm. Breathe. And let's take that stretch on the other side. Bulgarian split squat. Sink. That's the idea at least. And again, you can do this on the ground, just grab your foot if you don't have a wall or a bench that you want to use, or if like that hurts your foot, or you can toughen up. I don't know. Those are your options, I guess. Squeeze your butt to accentuate that stretch to the front of your thigh. Hip down to knee. Lift up an arm if you want. Two more deep breaths. You need to lay down the ground for the final recovery. You can always quit and just go about your day now, but you might as well stay with me for the last 2-3 minutes. Rest. You'll be glad you did tomorrow when you're not as sore. Lay back, all the way down on the ground, body long. You can reach your arms over your head, take an arch in your back, let your ribs come apart, and then pull the belly button in, kind of suck it in, flatten your back onto the ground. Lift one leg up. We did circles at the beginning. Instead, now we're going to reach up the leg, to the calf, to the ankle, to the back of the knee, and gently pull in. Flex your toes towards your face. Maybe a shower of dog hair rains down on your face. That's lovely. One more breath, and then switch legs. Well, it still feels like summer here in Utah. I don't know where you guys are, and that makes it harder to start putting in the work for something you think is so far away, but I promise ski season will be here pretty quickly, and you'll be glad you started preparing early. If it's pulsing at all, take a little bend in your knee, or just back off the stretch slightly. Release it all the way down. And now pull the first knee into your chest. Take the opposite hand and pull it across your body. A nice spinal twist here. Maybe a back crack. And then extend the other arm out from the shoulder. Look down those fingers so you're pushing your knee in one direction and looking in the opposite direction. Trying to flatten your body into the ground. I'm actually using this hand to manually push down on my knee. I feel the stretch in my back and my hip. Okay, option, bend your bottom knee and go get this foot. So now you've got that quad stretch and the knee being pushed across your body. This pretzel position. And it probably makes sense why it's called a pretzel when you're in it. Even here, think of flattening the body. Keep both shoulders in contact with the ground. Release, switch, we are almost done. Hugging the second knee into the chest. Take the opposite hand on the outside of that knee and pull it all the way over, falling down to the ground. Opposite arm reaches out, look down your fingertips. It's okay if your knee's up, you can't quite get it down, but maybe by 8 weeks, you'll be able to get this knee all the way down. Press both shoulders into the ground. Breathe. And now option, bend that bottom knee, go get the foot. Hardest part is getting it. So your right hand is on your right knee. Sorry, left knee. It's very confusing when you're all twisted up in a pretzel. Your left hand's on your right foot. That probably doesn't help anyone. Wait, what? Flatten your body. Breathe. Last stretch, release the pretzel. Untwist the pretzel. Bring your knees into your chest for a little hug and rock. And then widen the knees, point them towards your armpits, circle your ankles, and try to reach up and grab onto the outsides of your feet. You're going to find your tailbone comes way up off the ground. You kind of got this rounding in your back. And now press the tailbone down. Try to flatten your lower back. Pull on the outsides of your feet. So my palm is facing in to my pinky toe, and I'm pulling down that side. Soles of my feet are flat. I'm visualizing big cinder blocks on my feet that are pushing down, pushing my knees down into the ground, sort of close to my armpits. Rock to the right and the left and the right. Both knees come together, hug, rock to seated. You survived week 1. Hopefully it was not too challenging, felt like a good workout, but also felt like there are areas that you could push harder in and areas that you need improvement. And we will address all of those in the following 8 weeks. Thank you for joining me on this ski preparation program journey. I look forward to the next several weeks. Have an awesome one. See you in the live class or on week 2. Bye.